The show that you're about to enjoy has lived in our archives since before Christmas of 2024, which you'll see as we begin the show by opening some presents from our guests. The reason that we've left it in our archives for so long is because of the nature of the stories. A majority of these stories in this show are about chasing turkeys across the woods, and we thought that it would be much more fitting to wait and release it in March when people are getting excited about chasing those turkeys around. Well, we hope that you enjoy this time with the Shivers as much as we did back before Christmas. Hey everybody, welcome back or welcome to the first time of the Hayden Alabama podcast. I'm Phillip.
I'm Shane.
I'm Phillip.
Brent.
Well, we're going to start the day off a little different. So we have Phillip and Brent, Phillip squared here today. But we're going to start today off different because they said they wanted to give us a gift first. We don't know what the gift is. So Brent, you've been so kind to bring us something. I'm itching to know what it is. Let's have that, and then we'll tell some stories.
That's right. So what we did, this is a little gift from our home to yours. This is probably the number one reason for weight gain this time of year where we're from.
Yes, absolutely.
So what these are, that is pecan caramel cookies from Dean's Cake House.
Oh, boy.
And given the season, that is...
Let me go ahead and get the hold of them.
That's deer jerky. So,
oh, my goodness. And
Merry
we both
Christmas.
got one.
Each.
One
So
I
well,
don't have to fight him
Are
over
we
it.
sharing?
well, your families.
All right, Shane,
If they make it that far.
Shane is done.
I don't know that we're going to make it back to the house with these.
Well, Merry Christmas.
I wouldn't.
Is this deer or beef?
That's deer.
Deer.
Deer jerky.
Yep.
From your harvest?
One of them.
One of them. May or may not be something we talk about today.
Y'all are privileged because I haven't seen any of that deer jerky. So,
Well, here it is.
Yeah.
There it is, right there. Do you want me to open it so that you can have
no,
some?
no,
Are you
that's good.
I guess we should hear a verdict.
He ain't said
no
nothing,
good?
so it's good.
You don't want them.
You don't want them? I don't want them?
No.
I'll tell you a
Well,
little
let me
secret.
just try one of yours.
If you microwave it for about 5 seconds and let that caramel get a little warm,
I'm going to get just a little bit right here.
From Dean's what?
Dean's Cake House.
Now, is that where those cakes you brought to the church the other night came from?
Yes, sir.
They were also good. Well, while I eat, I want to hear a story. So you've got a list here. We're going to go in the woods today, and you said this is all self-depreciating humor.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're usually you don't come on here to embarrass yourself. But
No, you do.
that's
yeah.
all we're
Wherever
doing.
we
That's
are.
all we're doing is embarrassing ourselves.
Well, let it begin.
Well, our first story is when I was very young, probably second or third grade, and unfortunately, it involves our entire family. So we started off with a bang at a young age. So what this was is, it was my brother and my dad's turn. It's their afternoon to go hunting. So I'm hanging with Mom for the evening. So, back then, your mom gave you two choices. You can stay in the house or clean, or you can go outside. So when I heard clean, the back door was shut, and I was out. So they go hunting that evening, and it's about a 15, 20-minute drive to where we were hunting at the time. So I'm at home. I'm excited, right? What did they see? In those days, it was what did you see? We were just happy to see something. So I waited and waited. So I hear them pull up in the driveway, right? I'm in the living room. Mom's in the kitchen. Dad walks in the back door. So I'm excited. Dad, what'd you see? What'd you see? Well, about that time, my mom cuts in. Well, where's Justin?
You're -1.
-1. And for the first time in my life, my dad turns ghost white. Now, here I am. You got to remember, my brother is about 5 years older than me. Y'all remember Stretch Armstrong? Well, you're looking at the live version.
Yeah.
He tested you out.
Yeah.
So my brother's friends, they all call him Shiver. And they always call me Little Shiver. So when they'd be playing at the house, they'd be like, "Hey, Shiver, I've been looking at some new wrestling moves. You mind if we get Little Shiver over here and maybe go over a few?"
Yeah.
So I pretty much got tortured my entire childhood. But to the story, so I'm sitting there and I realize what's going on, and I'm like, why aren't we celebrating?
Yeah,
We ought to be celebrating.
He's out of the
This
picture
is a
now.
reason to bring on the fatted calf.
I
That is
personally,
lost brother. Good.
I think we need to let him sit out there and think about some of the things that he has done. Maybe leave him out there overnight. I mean, I'm excited. So Mom cuts in again. Go get my son. Well, Dad cuts out of the house where I'm right behind him. I have got to witness this. I got to go with him. So we get outside. Nice black Ford Bronco, red interior, four-wheel drive, locking hubs. I'm telling you, man, we're doing it. So I climb in the back seat. We cut out the driveway. Well, about that time, we get going down the road, and Dad's like, hey, Brent, look in the back. So I ease over. There's Justin. I said, Mom is going to kill you.
Yeah. You know, there's a time in when you're playing a joke on somebody that you realize you might have went too far.
Maybe.
That's about the time I realized, this ain't gonna be good at all.
Dad's in the doghouse for a while.
Yeah. So
Just took it a touch too
just
far.
too
Yeah.
far.
Sometimes our senses of humor don't line up well with our
But
wives.
I thought it was great.
Oh, I
Yeah,
agree.
I mean,
I'm right there with you.
It was great.
Fantastic motion.
But Mom was not happy.
But we're in the Bronco and next.
Yeah, we run down the road a little bit and turned around and went back home.
Bring me into the house. I want to go back in the house.
we
I
get in
went
the
to the
house.
room. I knew it was about to happen. I'm gone. I'm out. I did my part.
Brent did his part.
Yeah, I get no support. None.
Well, because at that point, all of Brent's dreams has come crashing down.
Yeah, he's devastated.
Yeah,
So-
he's still mad that Justin's still alive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we get in, and of course she's glad we got him. And I was like, I tried to go a little further. Yeah, he was walking. I picked him up down the road. He's okay. But kind of left it at that. But after he realized what was going on, Justin, of course, knew what was going on all the time. And then they got to telling Mama, giggling and laughing and playing, and Mama ain't giggling and laughing at none
It's not funny to her at all.
at all.
right.
No, no.
Mama's thermometer is just steadily
Oh
going to the boiling
yes,
point.
yes. You can look in her face and tell it, and I'm just like,
How many other times you do that?
I think I've done it actually twice.
No,
you
did
went
it
again.
after
Yes.
that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just to see if you
But,
get the same result.
Yeah.
Are you trying to get a divorce?
Well,
It's just testing
No.
the integrity of the
What
marriage.
was the purpose?
I think
here?
the first time I done it, I don't think Brent was aware of it.
Might have been
The-
too young.
Yeah. The first time I done it, I don't believe we jumped back in the truck and actually took off down the road playing that part out. I think Justin come walking in a few minutes later, kind of, well, I chased Dad all the way home.
chased him all the way there.
I can't believe you'd leave me out there.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
that sort of thing.
My
But-
dream
but-
would come true.
But the second time, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna jump in the truck.
Really, I'm
Tear
gonna
out.
really do it. right this
Yeah.
time.
Sorry, Mom. I love you.
Shouldn't have done that.
Well, I'm here to tell you, we have bad ideas all the time.
Yes, that was,
Particularly as husbands.
yes,
Yeah, I have them every day.
yeah.
Just ask.
I'm
if
trying
you
to
don't-
become less frequent in acting on
And
them.
if you don't believe it, just ask his wife.
Yeah, that was rough.
I stays in the doghouse, and Philip knows that though.
The other day, I'm not always in tune with the things that
Look
I
like you got a
should
little
say
apprehension there.
Yeah,
and I
Careful.
shouldn't say.
careful.
But I walked into the school, and he was standing there, and his wife was standing on the other side of him, close proximity there. And I just walk up, and he said, "Why didn't you text me back?" And I said to him, I said, "You text me so much that I just don't. I mean, I don't look at it every time it goes off, and I see your name."
You're talking about Shane.
Talking about him.
So, in other words, he's ignoring you.
That's what. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. But that's not the big deal. His wife is just sitting there on the other side, and he can't see her because he's looking at me. She's on the other side of him, and she is just burning a hole into the side of his head that he can't see. But I picked up on it. I'm in tune with what's going on. I
Gotta be
realize that I
real
have said
careful.
something
Yeah,
that has elicited a response, an emotional response within her. And then she speaks. "That's funny. I beg you to text me 2 to 3 times a day." Shane never looks. He never turns his head back right to look at what's happening.
He knew he's
on the other
caught.
side. He
Yeah.
knew what the
He-
look was.
yeah.
He just keeps looking at
Yeah.
me, and I just went, That's all you can do.
Your friend just put you in the gar hole there.
I'm talking about crank the
How am I
bus
supposed
up,
to know how
warm it
much
up
he's
and
texting
everything.
his wife? I figured he's texting her as much as he's texting me.
Gassed on it while I'm laying down, and then threw it in reverse and backed over
Backed
me.
up, done it
Just
again.
in case we missed it the first
I
try.
like to check the suspension.
Yeah.
Make sure everything is.
So as we're leaving, Philip says, "Hey, is your wife mad at me?" No, she's not mad at you.
That's a good place to be.
She's mad at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
Brent, tell me another one.
Well, the next one is probably just a few weeks after. I mean, we're just knocking them out here one after
Y'all
the
are
other.
rolling down the road.
That's right.
boy.
So now it's my turn. It's little brother's turn to go with dad. Okay. So I'm suiting up. We got all of our mismatched Walmart camo that we still wear to this day. So we load up in the Bronco and we're headed to the club. What a ride it was. You know, we get in. I'm like, Dad, put on a little Alan Jackson right there. Look, we about to have a good time.
Let's hear it down in Chattahoochee. It gets hotter than a hoochie coochie. Let's sing it.
So we go to the club, and what we're doing is, it was one of my first sits in a shooting house. Mm-hmm. So Dad puts me up in the shooting house. Hey, you're gonna sit here. You're gonna sit by yourself. I'm gonna go out here somewhere. I'll be in close proximity, but we just won't be sitting together. So I'm like, hey, this is great. You know, I'm by myself. I got my lever action 30-30. Mm-hmm. You know, I got an itchy trigger finger, a shaky relationship with the truth. I'm ready to go. Mm-hmm. I got every little Debbie known to man. Green, sour bubble gum, one of my favorites at the time. Well, the problem is...
That was a must, by the way.
Keep him satisfied.
Yeah.
Had to have the green apple bubble gum.
Well, the problem is the shooting rail is just at my forehead. So every time I want to look out, I have to kind of peek up like
turkey
this
over the log,
and look out and look back down and just kind of twiddle my thumbs. You know, back then, you didn't have a cell phone to look at. So we would just whittle wood or pick pine cones apart or, you know, stare at the wasp in the shooting house. Mm-hmm. So about that time, just a few times, you know, I'm peeking up, nothing. Well, about that time, I hear one of the loudest noises I've ever heard. If you could imagine, like an elephant scaling a pine tree. And I look out there, and Dad is going up the tree on the edge of the plot in his climber. So here I am thinking, well, at least the deer know where we're at. So if they're wanting to come, they know where we're at. We're here.
They know where to find you.
They're going to walk right in front of us.
Come on, we're here. Yeah.
So after that, I'm still, you know, every 30 minutes, you know, time passes when you're young like that. So I'm just looking up, don't see nothing. Well, one time I look up my peek out, and I look over at Dad, and he is looking down the scope of his gun, and it's pointed right at me. And I go back down, and I'm sitting there thinking, this man has just left my brother in the woods. Now he's trying to kill me.
He's trying to get
What
rid
is
of
he
me.
thinking? So I'm like, maybe I just seen something, you know, maybe I just saw something not real. So I peek out there again, and he's still just right on me. So I drop. Boom, I'm in the floor. Man's trying to kill me. What am I supposed to do? I'm in a shooting house. I'm a shooting duck out here. So the last thing I remember is boom. And I'm like,
Checking for bullet holes.
I'm here. You know, it's me and the little Debbie's. I guess if we're going to go out, we're going to go out now. Mm-hmm. Well, luckily, I think something else was going on unbeknownst to me. But I mean, it looked like he was coming just right at me.
And I
Yes.
was. He's telling the truth. I mean, I was dead pointed at the shooting house.
You could see him.
I could see it, but he couldn't because it was under the shooting house. So
It's coming for some of them
yeah,
Christmas tree
I'm
cakes.
thinking it's coming for the little Debbie. Not real sure, but I'm ready if it does.
Maybe
you know.
it likes the green sour apple gum.
Maybe it does.
I hear that.
Hey,
Deer like apples.
y'all can believe this or not, but I probably still tote some of that in my pocket because I think it's good look. I think the animals
It is
like
good
it.
look.
You know?
Yeah,
So
bring it on
you
in
know
there.
you might want to try that if you're having a down year. You know, just
There's a
stick
little
some in-
tip.
Giving
Yeah,
away secrets this morning.
So
All right.
what was it?
A bobcat.
Oh, the bobcat.
And I'm thinking that
Yes.
it was worth
pawpaw.
it. You know,
No.
it's pawpaw, lots of bones on top of the head.
No, but
That's what I was thinking.
as a turkey hunter,
And conservationist
and right, I'm trying to help the turkey population survive,
at all costs.
whatever it takes.
Yep.
And we trap too, so we're trying to help the turkeys.
And you got 2 sons, so you could do away. I mean, you could do without one.
Yeah,
and still
absolutely.
have one.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, they're not going to do anything to the golden child. Let me tell you, there's a lot of stories about that. Also,
Might be our second intervention.
if
We're here.
if
We're here for
if
this.
he whimpers, everybody get ready. We're going to the ER.
We got to take the older brother to the ER, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's not true, but that's fun. Yeah. So anyway, I shoot this bobcat. Brent still don't know what's going on.
Terrifying.
But I do remember.
Brent's thinking he's in Vietnam.
Yeah, I'm looking through the scope. Well, I can see him. I see 2 little hands on the bottom of the window, and I see a head coming. I can see it top, and I see eyes, and I just see everything disappear like gone. And I'm kind of chuckling, this kid thinks I'm fixing to shoot him.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a good track record at this point, so there's no telling.
There's some judgment issues that you're working through, right?
Just before that, he ran over my tricycle I got for Christmas, backed over it.
So you're thinking you're at the low man on the totem pole.
Still there.
Yeah. You heard him say backed over it, right?
Yeah.
So guess who left it where?
Personal accountability is difficult, Mr.
Hey,
Phillip.
there were some hard lessons in life that you had to learn the hard way. So.
Well, I'm actually talking about you.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
You're the one supposed to be.
It's not my tricycle.
There you go.
I'm not riding that thing.
That's right.
It's
yeah.
not mine.
Yeah, he'll learn. Don't put it behind the truck.
Don't put it behind the truck.
But anyway, I shoot this bobcat, and it runs off.
Mm-hmm.
And Brent's correct. He is toting an old Winchester Model 94, 30-30. No scope, open sights,
Classic.
classic. You shuck it, shell hits you right between the eyes.
Mm-hmm. That's the truth.
Yeah.
So where this bobcat ran is kind of thick. So I was like, here, you hold my gun. Let me have your gun. Of course, there's a round in the chamber. So I pull the hammer back. And on them guns, you've got to squeeze the lever to make it work. That's the safety mechanism. So I'm kind of moving stuff with my left hand, moving stuff with the barrel of the gun, and out from under the bushes he comes.
Hey, come.
So I just shoot. Boom.
One-handed.
And I'm like, oh, God, I broke my hand. I ain't worried about the cat no more. Really ain't worried about the gun. Nor the kid. Just my hand.
Broke my hand.
Broke my hand. But luckily I'd hit the cat, ended that, so we could tend to my hand. I think he had to tote both guns out.
And
Probably didn't have to, but it felt good to me,
And tend to Brent's
Yeah.
issues
Well,
that he's
yeah, he was
working
fine.
through now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nightmares
Trust
for the
issues.
next 15 years.
I didn't worry about that at the time.
It really wasn't
I was
important.
trying to conserve turkey population,
Got an important thing.
I think we just learned I just moved another rung down. Now I'm under turkeys.
Yes.
Just
Well,
another one to
pretty
add.
much
Justin,
Yeah.
turkeys, Brent.
No, I think that's wrong.
No.
I think there was probably turkeys, maybe deer,
Oh,
then
crappie.
maybe,
Now, this may be why you haven't got any jerky yet.
maybe.
We're
And
s-
I-
I'm getting
I-
a picture.
I wouldn't be scared to put wife at third
Yeah, there you go. I see.
under
see.
turkey and deer. It's changed a little bit since then. I've got a little age on me, so now maybe it's turkey,
Priorities
wife, deer.
change.
Yeah,
I understand that. I took Covey, you were talking about shooting in the bushes. I took Covey squirrel hunting the other day, and we seen one, and I told him, I said, if we'll sit still, or I asked him to go, I said, go up there and see if you can get a shot at him. Well, he went, and he kind of went up a tree or something. He said, I can't find him. So I said, let's go up here and sit down. I said, it's about to get dark. I said, he's going to go to the house. Squirrels get dark. They're going to come down, and they're going to the house. That's where he was going. He said, how do you know? I said, that's what they do. So we sat there. He said, Daddy, they ain't coming. He ain't coming. I said, he will in just a second. Just give him time. We're here in a minute. He goes, there he goes, Daddy, there he goes. I said, well, go shoot him. So he takes off down there with his little 22, and he pulls up, and he goes and he pulls up, and I thought, man, is he going to shoot the thing or not? Well, he kept going a little bit farther. He finally pulls up, and I hear him. He said, I think I got him. I went running down there. I said, where's he at? He said, I don't know, Daddy. I really couldn't see him. I just shot where I thought he was.
Hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Shoot where you think he was. That's like shooting up in a tree randomly.
That's right.
I might hit a squirrel.
Was it a single shot?
Yeah, a little single shot 22 that he's got.
I started off with a Marlin 18 round barrel fed.
You had plenty.
I shot and then I found them. So I would start shooting and then
That's
try
right,
to find
yeah.
it. I figured that thing would keep reloading,
That's
so I just
right,
kept
yeah.
Shooting.
Well, as we move into the next one, I think I was a little older on this one. This is really our last deer hunting, because in deer hunting, you really don't hunt together. So, most of them happened when I was younger because we were together. But I think this one we were on, I was just a little bit older, and we had went to this one spot and sat by this tree multiple times, multiple hunts. And every time we go, same thing happened. We'd go sit down. He would give me his 270, which is a pump, sit in my lap, and we would sit there until evening. And about 30 minutes into our hunt, every hunt, I'd look over, and he's sawing logs about 30 minutes in until it gets dark.
Mm-hmm.
So as
He's
time...
got a set of eyes. What does he need his eyes on
Exactly.
for?
Well, as time goes on, I'm thinking, well, maybe he's just bringing us out here so he can nap. That's kind of what I was at the end. Well, luckily, I think that turned around one day. So we're up there hunting.
Best sleep in the world.
It is good.
It is, yeah. We're 30 minutes in. I look over. He's sawing logs. Right here he is snoring. I don't know how we're gonna see anything. So I'm aiming, and all of a sudden I hear it was a dog barking or something way off in the distance. Well, about that time I hear a deer running, and I look over, still sawing logs. So I can't see anything. So I'm looking down. I got a turkey knee pad on my knee. I'm just holding it down, and then I see the front half of a deer head pop out of a tree. Might not should have taken this shot, but this was a long time ago. So I raise up, and I got it dead in the crosshairs. And I looked back one more time, and I was like, this man has given everybody in my hometown permission to spank me. This is my turn. Mm-hmm. Boom! So I shoot, and for the second time in my life, ghost white. I look over there, he is coming unglued.
Yeah, there is no alarm clock like a 270 going off.
No, you're right about that.
We're no ear protection. I mean,
I'm pretty sure I did. I fell asleep. I'll fall asleep in a minute, especially that sun gets on you, get warm. I think one time he woke me up, Dad, what do I do if I see a deer? Shoot him.
Shoot it.
So I go back to sleep. Next thing I know, the world is coming apart.
Your ears are ringing.
Yes. So after the kicking, the stomping, probably saying a few things I shouldn't have, there's a dead deer.
Uh-oh.
got what we came for. A
That's-
few laughs and a deer.
Yeah. So after that day, he gets the nickname
Quick draw.
Deadeye.
Oh.
Because he shoots this deer right square in the eyeball.
Really?
Yes. I mean, you
Pure
couldn't
luck.
have put it there no better.
It didn't run off.
And I asked him, I was like, why'd you shoot the deer in the eyeball? That's all I could see, Dad. Okay, good enough. Let's go.
Ain't
You know?
So you were able to
Hit
get
small.
him. You got her.
Yeah.
Fortunately, and I
Yeah.
got to see a little bit of a show, a little 2-in-1 hunt.
It was a bonus. It was a good afternoon because
Yeah.
you said it just stuck its head out from behind a tree. So I guess
That's
that's it. Shoulder was still covered.
Yeah.
The only opportunity I had, and I took it.
Yeah.
Two opportunities.
You had to make a quick decision there, but you were already I think you're already looking for ways to get at Dad anyway.
Yeah, I mean, there's
yeah.
nothing like a little brother that gets a lot of punishment from their dad and their older brother.
Yeah.
Because I'm the last one, right? I'm the last one they can push around. So this to me is like Christmas morning, the youth turkey hunt. You wait all year. It's the youth it's your first crack at getting to hunt. So I probably didn't sleep that much that night, just totally excited. So we go down to the youth. Dad has done some scouting, if I remember right, kind of got us in the area of one. And we get set up, right? We're there, we're ready. Hey, that you should hear one shortly if he's gonna talk.
Now when he says early, we're in the woods probably before 4 o'clock.
Yeah, nothing's awake but us.
Yes.
No, yeah, you're right. They ain't nowhere
'Cause
close
it-
to wait.
Usually in the youth hunts, it's a first come first serve. Was that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to go through the check-in process, and then when you checked in, you got to go to your spot, first come first serve. So we were there very early.
Very early.
So we're there in the dark for at
And
least 2 hours.
Yeah, boys. Y'all hunted. Y'all know it's dark in the woods.
Oh yeah.
And yeah.
And
So-
see, I don't ever remember having a flashlight until I was probably 16 or 17.
You
Well,
can't
see,
have
now-
no flashlight
well,
when
now,
you turkey hunting.
Deer
man.
hunting. He will have a flash. He will have a sets of flashlights. But turkey hunting, there is no light. It's all dark and feel and
So we're
don't you
sneaking
turn
in
that
real
light on.
quiet.
no,
You know,
no.
we're not hitting any branches or trees. If we'd have just used the flashlight and went in there, we would have been a lot quieter. So, but we get set up. I think he's off to my right, just short distance, and he has always told us, if you ever see me running, you better start running. So I got that in the back of my mind. I'm ready. So we hear the turkey. He's gobbling on the limb. Well, we are set up just on the backside of a swamp. So the only place this turkey has to land is about 20 steps in front of us. So we're a good advantage. So this turkey pitches off the roost, and I mean, it looks like a 747, like Batman covering the sky. I mean, he is coming in, and he lands about 20 steps right in front of me. And after a little bit of shock, I turn and I shoot. Well, the next thing I know, he takes off running. So in the back of my mind, son, if you ever see me running, you better
be
start
running
running. Well, the only problem is he didn't stop running. So now I'm running behind him. He's chasing the turkey. I'm chasing him. And all I hear is, shoot him, son, shoot him. So my barrel is going in between his legs like this, and we're both running. And about that time, I guess, I couldn't see it until we got over it, the turkey has ran into a log. Well, Dad jumps over the log. I jump over the log. Turkey goes back the other way.
After we get back over the log, the turkey is about knocked itself crazy. So he's not really running anymore. He's just flopping around. Well, I'm trying to stomp to get on his head. And I'm, like he said, I'm steadily telling him to shoot.
Even though you're standing on
Somebody, I'm like Jerry Clower. Somebody got to have some relief. Just shoot amongst us.
Just get close.
Okay?
Yeah.
We'll deal with it afterwards. But somebody, and he does. Boom. I just stop.
waiting for the burn.
I looked down at my legs, make sure they were still there. Turkey's laying right there, dead as a hammer. He ain't wiggled a bit. And I'm like, my God, son, what were you thinking? He's like, you said shoot?
You said shoot.
He's obeying everything you
Yes,
say.
yes.
I run, you run.
I got to
He
be
did
careful
it.
about what I say.
You got to be careful.
And he shot.
Shaking his
Right.
pants leg out for
Yeah.
lead shot
I
as we're
am
walking out.
positive one of my legs are gone. I just ain't felt it yet. But I look, both of them still there. I haven't
man.
felt anything yet. I'm like, what was you thinking? You said shoot.
Said shoot. Hey, I'm doing what you said.
Well, it's a good thing you're a good shot because
Careful what
turkey's
you
dead.
say.
I still got my legs. That's what I was saying a while ago. You know, if it had went just a little bit left or right, I don't know who he would have carried out first.
Tell us another one, Brent.
Well, speaking of being from South Alabama, so now we moved to later in the season. We're mid to late April, and everybody in the deep South knows that it's hot,
Winding
it's
down.
muggy. It feels like summertime. Okay, mosquitoes are in force. So that morning we go, and we meander around, and we find a turkey on the other side of a swamp. So we're like, hey, it's getting late in the morning. He'll probably be here when we get back this afternoon. Let's go home and come back. So that's what we did. We come back. We got set down, and I think it had rained about an hour before we got back. Mid to late April, it's muggy. I mean, we're beading sweat, and tough in long sleeves, sitting still. Well, we get sat down, and he is off kind of in the distance. Now, how we usually sit is we're both right-handed. So we'll sit offset of each other so he can swing all the way this way, and then where his gun kind of stops, mine picks up and comes all the way around. So we kind of got like a 180 coverage. So I'm sitting there, I pop my thermocell on, and I'm just like, man, this is tough. Middle of late April, it's warm. Well, about that time, I hear this noise, and I hear it again, and I hear it again. It sounds like something flopping, and I'm like, what is going on? Well, all of a sudden, I see him stand up, his hat flying, his mask flying, his calls flying, everything's flying. I mean, just pitching a grown man fit. And I'm like, well, maybe Dad finally lost it. Maybe he secretly takes karate lessons. Maybe he's doing an Indian rain dance. I have no clue. I'm just sitting there kind of in the distance like, what is this man doing? So I guess
I had about as much as I could stand the mosquitoes.
They done got to you.
My thermocell was still in the truck.
Bad
My
decision.
off is still in the truck.
and we're right next to a swamp.
And boys, when we were driving down there, of course you got the windows down, it's hot. You can hear, and I'm like, this is gonna be bad.
That sounds like mosquitoes buzzing.
Yeah, it sounds like
this is gonna be bad.
Chinook helicopter just
Yeah.
coming to land right on your earlobe.
And boys, I mean, you could literally just wipe them off your face. And I'd had about as much as I could stand, and I'm done.
And I think there's a point in every kid's life with their parents that they get to witness one of their parents lose it, and that was my day. So we get back home, and I'm like, Justin, I got to see Dad lose it today.
Hey, yeah. Today was the
What
day.
a day it was the day. I won't never forget it.
You know,
the day you broke.
Unfortunately, this is unrelated to hunting, but he got to witness that twice. Where we live, the woods is about 3 steps from the back of our house. Drops off in a big holler. Nice, pretty woods.
Easy over there now.
So a limb had fell. You can't stand it, can you?
I
You
can't
got,
stand it.
You
Just
got
hold
to
on a
have.
second.
Just
Let
go
me
on and
let
get
me
it.
go on and
Just
get
go on, get it. Be done
Sorry,
with it.
I had
Yeah.
the beef jerky so good. Now I just got to
yeah.
finish it up. Go ahead.
But anyway, one morning, and it's during the summertime, I have got nothing on but a pair of jersey shorts. That's it. A limb has fallen in the yard. So I was like, I'll go drag that limb down in the wood, get it out of the yard. Down I went, coming back, walked right through a yellow jacket nest that I had just drug that limb through. I come out of shorts.
Yeah.
Had to.
Yeah.
This one is standing at the kitchen window
Oh, I'm
watching.
having a ball. I'm having a ball.
He can't hear what I'm saying, but he can see what I'm doing.
Yeah, he can see what you're saying
You talking
too.
about some dancing.
I am buck naked, just trying to
Swatting.
get some relief. Yeah, you know, yellow jackets kind of like fire ants.
Yeah.
They like, all right, everybody ready?
Everybody
1,
at
2,
once.
3, go. And boy, howdy.
They was cutting loose on you.
I was trying to relieve myself of them.
Yeah, almost a reliving the 80s jazzercise is kind of what it looked like. But when I looked out the window, I just walked by and looked out, and he's full clothed. I'm like, okay. Well, I come back by, he's jumping around, hooting and hollering.
What was
and
that
making,
guy's name that did the Jerry side? Richard. What was
Richard Simmons?
Richard
Yeah, yeah.
doing some Richard Simmons moves? Huh?
I'll tell you what,
I
boy.
was thinking of Denise Austin. You know,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, and as we roll into the next one, I think I was a little bit older, so we're going into probably mid-teens at this point, where we're starting to hunt collectively and maneuvering together, making a plan. So we get what we've always called the tactic when there's a bird hung up. What we will do, and usually I'm the first shooter. So if you can imagine a clock sitting in the dead center of a clock, Dad will go at my 6 o'clock, and the turkey will be at our 12 o'clock. If the bird moves to 11 o'clock, Dad will roll to 5 o'clock. He is constantly staying in that pattern, basically me, the shooter, in between the caller and the turkey. So the turkey will come closer to me. So this time, it's my turn. I am the caller. So we're at the edge. We're in a planted pines on the edge of a field. And I think I've already shot my one of the year. So I say, hey, Dad, I'll go back behind you and call. He's like, got you. We'll try to pull this one in. He's on the other side of the hill. So I go back there, and I'm calling. You know, I can't see anything. I'm kicking around in the grass and twiddling my thumbs and calling, every few minutes. So about that time, I hear him shoot. So I'm like, hey, we got one down. The tactic worked again. So I walk out to the edge of the field, and I peek out there, and he's in kind of some tall grass, and I look out there, and I was like, what is he doing? And all I can see is he's hunched over. And every few seconds, he comes up like this. Every few seconds, he's doing that. And I'm like, well, he must have got sick. I don't know what he's doing. So I ease just a little bit more, and I peek out there, and he has dropped his gun, and he is bear hugging this turkey, and the turkey's head is poking out, and he is riding this thing like an ostrich. So I said, well, I could go help, or I could set my gun down right here, and I'm just about to enjoy this.
And
Popcorn.
that's exactly what he did. Sat down and watched. Yeah, this was bad. I shot this turkey, and normally when you get to a turkey that's been shot, his head laying on the ground, you're good.
If it ain't.
For some reason or another, I left my gun where I was sitting. This turkey is down, but his head is up, and I'm like, oh, this ain't gonna be good. So I go to trying to put my foot on his head. Well, he ain't having no part of that. He finally gets to his feet, and he's coming around behind me, and the way I'm standing, he's fixing to get between my legs. I got one choice, and I laid down.
Saddle up.
I laid down on him. Everything's good for a minute, and then I feel him stand up. I'm like, I ain't believing this. This turkey's picking me up. So here we go. He is taking a step or two. I'm like, I don't know what I've got under me, but this fitting to get real.
You about to turn into the turkey Superman.
So I finally can get my hands around his neck, and I just clamp down.
Vice grip.
Yes, this has got to end pretty quick, or something's got to happen. So finally it did. And after that, boys, if you're a turkey hunter, you know this. You step on a turkey's head, there's a lot of flopping going on. And if you ain't real careful, them spurs on his legs,
They coming at you.
it's going to get you. Not to mention them wing bones in the front of that wing is real bad on the shin bone.
Oh, I bet.
And this turkey, boys, went to beating me.
Wore you out, didn't it?
Yes.
Hey, I got free tickets to this show.
Yeah, free
I'm
admission,
enjoying it.
baby.
So I've got him in his neck in my hands. You know, turkey got a pretty long neck, so that gets him out away from me, plus the length of my arms. Wasn't quite long enough. Them spurs and them wings was still reaching me. Can't turn him loose. I ain't going to turn him loose. I don't think.
We're committed.
Not at the
committed.
moment we're not.
Was you hollering, hold him, you got him right where you want him?
Well, I was
buddy?
thinking if you let him go, it's going to be my turn.
He was laughing
This
so
could be
hard
my
he couldn't have
bird.
done nothing. All I can hear is him giggling over there in the bushes. But I'm just getting my tail wore out.
Sometimes they get the best of you.
Boy, but I didn't turn him loose. I carried him home with me.
And I had to drive
You got
home.
him.
I won that battle.
Well, I thought you was going to say the only sound you wasn't wanting to hear is his safety click off again.
Well, no.
We done been down that road one time.
But
Thought about it.
that
You didn't
was-
say shoot him, did you?
Not that time.
Uh-uh.
Nope. Ain't no more of that.
Learning,
No.
Brent's real compliant.
Yeah, you'll do exactly
Instructions.
what you tell him.
Yeah,
to
that's
do.
the first time I've ever heard of somebody trying to ride a turkey.
But boy, that was amazing to me. When I felt him pick me up, you know, I'm not a very big guy, but I'm bigger than a turkey.
You're a lot bigger than he is.
I thought I was stronger than him, but apparently not.
That thing is channeling his inner ant. You know, ants pick up like, some crazy 60
Yes.
times their weight.
Exactly.
You know, I don't know, but I knew this was probably fixing to be tough when I felt him get on his feet. I was like, I don't know what else to do.
And that goes into the next one. We're set up again in Planted Pines. Dad has hunted this turkey, I think, for a few days. Well, I come home from school and we're going in the morning. He's kind of got, hey, this is kind of what they do. We're going to be in the pines again on the edge of a field. This is kind of where they roost and what happens. So we get to hunting. Bird hangs up again. They are down in a hole, and we're at the edge of the field in Planted Pines. You know, down there they plant them probably 10, 15 feet apart. So we are looking down this funnel of pine trees. Well, Dad's like, hey, I'm gonna run the tactic. I'm gonna try to get behind you, and I'm gonna call and see if he will come close enough for you to get a shot. Got it. Okay. So it's probably about 20 minutes later. He's still working. And remember, I'm the center of the clock. The turkey is now kind of at the 2 o'clock, and Dad is somewhere over here flirting with the 8 to 10, kind of walking back and forth, trying to pull him over there. Well, I get the gun up, and I see his head coming, like he's on a mission. You know how they'll rock that head back and forth. Well, I got probably a 25, 30-yard shot. Well, he's not stopping. Usually I will have a mouthpiece, and I'll just give a slight yelp, and they'll just kind of pause real quick. He's not having any of it. So I shoot. I take off running. I get to the edge of these planted pines, and I'm like, where is the turkey? I shot. You know, what's going on? So I pull my eyesight up, and this turkey is out in this field, and he is running in perfect circles. He's just running in circles.
Like tied to a string.
He won't stop running circles. Well, I always carry 4 shells. I've done went once. So I stand at the edge of the field. I wait till he comes around. I shoot. Miss. Got 2 more. He comes around. I shoot. Miss. I do that again. I'm out. I'm completely out of shells. Well, I'm sitting there thinking, he's still running in circles. I have no idea why.
I mean, through all the shots,
He
that
is
doesn't
still
change
running in
anything.
circles.
He's
Yeah,
doing the same.
he ain't hit
So
nothing.
at that time, I'm thinking, well, I grew up playing a little ball. I can hold the forearm of my gun with my right hand, put the barrel in my left hand. I will get up there close
Just give him a good.
and I'll whack him. When he comes around in that circle, I'll be waiting on him, and I'm not hitting singles. I'm trying to hit a home run. I'm dropping that lower shoulder and putting them hips into it. I'm trying to hit him. Well, he comes around that first time. Swing. Miss. I was like, man, how did I miss
rock
this
one.
turkey? Yeah. So he comes around one more time. Swing. Miss. Well, about that time, over in my corner, at the corner of my eyesight, I see Dad show up at the edge. And it's like the Jerry Clower moment. That's the only one I've had in my life. Somebody, just shooting here amongst us, one of us got to have some relief, right? He's either going to run in circles, and I'm out of everything I got.
I get there, he's like, Dad, give me no shell. I was like, I ain't giving you no shell. You done shot 4 times. Gee, that's $25.
Where's them other 3 turkeys at?
Yeah. So finally, I can't remember if you hit him or I hit him, but we did get the turkey eventually.
It sounds like Brent sounded like me my senior year. I was 3 for 20 or 3 home runs, swinging for the fence and striking out. That was
Yeah, and what we had found out is when I shot, I had blinded him in one eye. So he thought he was running straight, but he was really just running in circles.
But it looked like it was something different every time. Every round he went.
I guess I gave him a different picture every time.
And there's hunters everywhere.
Everywhere. Go this way. Run that way.
So, well, he swung and missed one time. I'm going to try it again.
He would get you out of his sight, and then he'd come back and say, "Oh, got to keep on
There
going."
you go.
Oh, my
But
goodness.
boy, that was funny. I mean, that was comical. There, I have never in
You'd
my
had
life.
that on film.
Yeah,
Oh,
I wish
man,
we would
that'd
have,
be
but
great.
I think it gave him a chance to kind of a little kickback on me with him riding the turkey. And he
Yeah,
got-
yeah.
And at that point, I remember distinctly standing there after we got the turkey down and looking at him as like, I'm not hunting with you anymore, because every time we go together,
always
something happens.
something.
I'm scared to take anybody with him.
Turkey Mary.
I go by myself, everything's fine. He goes by himself, everything's fine. We go together, it's not what are we going to see here, it's like what's going to happen. Well, I think by now, after all these stories, we've kind of come up with a common denominator. We were really kind of confused on, was it him, was it me? Because it doesn't happen when we're not together. Well, the next one, it's the common denominator is definitely me. So this one is my most recent story. This is about 2 years ago. So this is real fresh. Still stings a little, very personal. So we go back to Andalusia for Christmas, and I see one of my wife's cousin's husbands. He's trying to get into turkey hunting. I'm like, hey, man, I'd love to go with you. Just, I don't know everything, but I'd love to just go help you try to kill your first one. So we planned it at Christmas. Well, it comes around to turkey season. I think it was about the 2nd or 3rd week. We're headed down, so I'm getting to go. Well, before that, about that Sunday, I get a terrible head cold. You can't think straight. You don't even know where you're walking. You're just kind of down. And now I'm not a big doctor person. I go once a year. So I go to the doctor. I'm like, hey, man, I got something important. I'm trying to help somebody turkey hunt in South Alabama. I just need something to clean this out so I can be, have my mind with me. He's like, oh, yeah, man, I got something for you. We're going to clean that up probably in the next 2 days. It'll be like nothing ever happened. So I'm like, okay, that sounds like a plan to me. I'll definitely do that. So that's Monday. So it gets about Thursday evening. And this medicine is at full force. Okay? I have taken everything out of my vest but one call, and I have put toilet paper inside my vest. I have nothing but one call and toilet paper and my Camelback.
And a runny nose.
Yes, but I can't.
Yeah.
But I can't. I told my wife, I was like, I don't want to cancel this. This is probably our only opportunity to be able to go. I'm going. I'm just going to have to deal with it. So we drive down there. That's a rough 3.5 hour drive on 65 with antibiotic running. So we get there, and we go over that night, and I tell him, yeah, I'm excited. Just pick me up and we'll go. Well, that morning, we get to where we're parking, and I'm like, hey, man, I got to go. It's still dark. I'll be back in a minute. So I take off. I come back. We get to walking, and you talking about not wanting to trust one. I'm there. I'm past there. It's bad. I'm to the point where I have not taken another of this medicine since Thursday, and it's Saturday morning, and it's still going.
Ooh.
So we go, and I am knee clenching. I'm tight roping, walking everywhere we go. And like you said, you walk a lot in turkey hunting, and I'm just hoping we're not walking far. Please just let us sit down on top of this hill. So finally we go, and I don't know if y'all understand the severity of what this done. It has turned my intestines into a straight pipe. It gets about 11 o'clock. I'm like, hey man, I'm done. I've got to go. I've got to go home. I maybe
somewhere else to be.
Right. I need to go get some Imodium. I don't know. I got to get something
that
that
way
way.
in a personal space.
Yeah. We got back. We were coming back to the truck. I said, let's just stop right here one time before the hook in the road. And I cut, and he gobbled. Well, he jumps down in the ditch on the left side of the road, and I run over there to him and grab him by his vest, and I was like, no, we got to go. We got to go. You got to be able to see the curve, because if he turns around that curve and there's nothing there, he's gone. So I said, you got to be able to see that curve. So I go back 50 or 60 yards. Turkey come around the corner. He got to shoot. And I don't know how many of you have been with people that's gotten there first. I know he experienced my first. It's nothing like you've ever seen. It's an awesome experience to see them just kind of melt, that they finally got one. I think he'd been trying 2 or 3 years. And, you make a lot of mistakes. And we just got fortunate and unfortunate that I was not in my right state of mind or body at the time. But luckily, it all worked out for us.
That had to be the dumbest gobbler in the world. But yeah, boys, that's the gist of it. I mean, it has been a blast. I'm telling you, and you can't make this stuff up.
Nope.
Yeah, because we don't really get to hunt together no more.
No.
Brother, neither. So we're kind of all over the state now. So
yeah.
when the times we do get to hunt, it's good to get together. But this was in the heavy part of it when we were obviously close to home. So it was a good time. But we appreciate both of y'all having us on. We enjoyed it. We enjoyed reliving it. I don't think we've ever really talked about them until somebody asked us about it.
It was just everyday stuff to us.
It happens all the time.
We, like I say, we didn't plan it, didn't think about it, didn't know.
Didn't know what was going
to
to
happen. We just dealt with it when it got there.
That's called living life.
I guess so.
And oftentimes the best things are the unexpected. You can't plan it.
That's right.
There's no way to plan it.
We would tell, he'd tell his mom, I'd tell my wife, when we got back, hey, this happened. And I'd tell her, at night we lay down, be talking, I'd listen, we just making memories. There is no way we will ever forget this kind of mess that went on. Yeah. You can't. So.
All right, let's get the word of God out before we get the word of game.
I'm looking forward to it.
I know you are, baby. So
I'm looking forward to one, not the other.
Ephesians 3:1-2 is where we're going to be at today. Just 2 little verses with a little nugget we're going to talk about. So it says, when I think of all this, I, Paul, a prisoner of Christ Jesus, for the benefit of you Gentiles, assuming, by the way, that God gave me a special responsibility of extending his grace to you Gentiles. So the one thing I want to talk about with that is Paul says, I'm a prisoner for you. Well, he was a prisoner because that's what God had called him to. I mean, he was literally a prisoner in prison, but he was also a prisoner not in a bad way, but to the responsibility of God to share the gospel. And I think of if I had to go to prison for you, which we've probably come close a couple of times, I would have been mad at you about it because of the lot that I'd been given being detained. But Paul never is upset. He's honored that God had extended the grace to him to know the gospel so that he could be a prisoner of sharing the gospel, sharing God's love, what he's done so people could have salvation. And so we don't know what we're going to be. So as believers, we may be prisoners one day. And I think the only way to be able to be in prison and continue to work for God is to know that it's a higher calling, to know that it's really by His grace and by His goodness that we have the ability to do it. So we're not in prison, but we get to share the gospel a little bit here on the show and tell people about the love of Jesus.
Absolutely.
And we're thankful for it because it's by His grace only that we're able to do anything. And I'm thankful for that grace every single day. Amen. Being a positive prisoner.
It's kind of it's a weird concept, especially for folks that don't understand or don't understand what it is to be a Christian, is to think about being bonded. I was bound to sin, but now I'm bound to God. So I'm still in bondage, but I'm in much better place being bound to God than I am bound to sin, because sin gives us death, God gives us life.
10 out of 10.
If I'm going to be bound to something, I'd rather be bound to something that's going to give me life.
Amen to that. Well, now I'm going to bind you to the word game.
Yeah, I'm afraid I knew it was coming.
We're going to start it off with Philip.
We're here.
Which
We're
one?
here for it.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to start it. It's always a guess.
Okay.
The guests.
Which
You
way
ready?
we going?
Are you
Does it
nervous?
matter?
We'll go to Brent.
Okay.
We'll always go, I guess that would be counterclockwise.
It is counterclockwise.
Ready to go?
I'm ready.
Who?
Went
To
The
Store.
at
the...
house.
Okay.
I did
Period.
it.
He's put a period. No, you didn't.
I'm done.
No, you good. He put a period on it. You didn't lose
So
this time.
where it stops is the loser?
No,
Oh,
if
okay,
you put
okay.
a period on a regular sentence, you
Oh, okay,
complete
okay.
it. I mean, the goal is to complete the sentence. It just typically doesn't happen because somebody will get tickled or not be able to come up with a
With a
word within
word,
2
yeah.
seconds. And don't worry, Shane's got the clock on you.
Okay.
He hit me last week at 2.00001. He went nuts.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, he went crazy. So, all right. Yeah, I lose.
Okay, I'm the loser.
Yeah, I'm the loser. Don't go so excited. Brent, your turn.
we
R.
The
Team
that
Went.
ahead.
in
the
Ballpark. Loser. That's how you
what's
lose.
the
right there.
what's the record now? Is
I
there
don't know.
a lot?
He's got
a little-
one win.
Oh,
Maybe two. Let's
give it two.
be nice. It's two. Well, we've had a lot of fun in the woods with you guys today, even though we didn't have to leave the Shedio. You shared family, your life, your memories, and I just want to say, Brent, you're blessed, man. Your daddy
no doubt.
has spent a lot of time with you, giving you a lot of life experience, lessons, and you're so compliant. I love that. I never knew that, but I mean, you have. If your daddy told you to do something, man, you did it. Now, I'm sure he could tell some more stories where you maybe weren't compliant, but
That's called a belt.
I got you. Yeah,
Early ages got you in
And
that
I was
line.
fortunate that my dad, my mom, and my older brother all kind of molded.
Compliance into your life.
yeah. Back to the what'd you call it? What's the name of that toy? The
Stretch Armstrong,
yeah. So they
like a
molded you
nightmare.
that way through the wrestling moves early on too.
Yeah.
But that's going to do it today here at the Hayden Alabama podcast. I'm Philip.
I'm Shane.
I'm Philip.
Brent.
We'll see you guys next week.